The parking lot at Greenfield Grocery in Boise, Idaho, was as busy as ever on a Saturday afternoon. Shoppers moved in and out, their carts squeaking under the weight of their weekly groceries. Among the usual chaos, something unusual stood out. A man, far older than expected, carefully pushing a row of carts back into the corral. His frame was wiry yet sturdy, his movements slow but precise, almost graceful in their determination. At that moment, Elon Musk, in town for a private meeting, stepped out of his electric car to grab a quick snack. But what caught his attention wasn't the store's bustling activity. It was the elderly man meticulously aligning the carts, as if it were his life's mission. Musk wasn't one to ignore something that intrigued him. He stood still, observing, a curious expression crossing his face. The man's features bore the marks of decades of hard work. Deep lines carved by years under the sun, a neatly trimmed silver beard, and a pair of glasses that seemed older than most of the shoppers around him. Despite his age, he moved with quiet pride, his head held high as he methodically completed his task. Something about the sight pulled at Musk, though he couldn't quite pinpoint why. He watched as the man carefully aligned the carts, taking an extra moment to wipe down a particularly grimy handle. Other shoppers walked past without a second glance, but Elon remained rooted in place. "Who is this man?" Musk murmured to himself. Without hesitation, he approached, propelled by curiosity and an inexplicable sense of urgency. In that moment, Elon Musk unknowingly stepped into one of the most profound encounters of his life. "Excuse me, sir," Elon called out, his voice firm yet polite, as he neared the elderly man. The man straightened up and turned toward the voice. His pale blue eyes squinted slightly behind thick lenses as the midday sun reflected off them. "Something I can do for you?" the man asked, his voice raspy but steady. His tone carried a touch of caution, as if he wasn't used to strangers stopping to talk to him. Elon paused for a moment before responding. "I couldn't help but notice you out here. It's not often you see someone your age doing this kind of work," he said, gesturing toward the neatly arranged carts. The man let out a dry chuckle and adjusted his cap, which bore the faded logo of a long-defunct company. "Somebody's got to do it," he replied. "These kids they hire nowadays leave the carts all over the place. You'd think it was rocket science." Elon smirked at the irony but refrained from making a joke. "Do you work here full-time?" he asked. "Part-time," the man replied, leaning slightly on one of the carts. "Name's Henry, by the way. Part-time's all they let me do. Got bills to pay, though, so I make it work." There was something in Henry's tone, matter-of-fact, almost dismissive. But Elon sensed there was more beneath the surface. His gaze shifted to Henry's hands, knuckles swollen, veins like cords, hands that told stories of decades of labor. "Bills at 90 years old?" Elon asked, his tone softening. Henry sighed, removing his cap and running a hand over what little hair he had left. "Never thought I'd still be working at this age, but life doesn't always go the way you plan," he admitted. "Lost my pension years ago when the factory shut down. Social Security barely keeps the lights on, so here I am." The simplicity of Henry's explanation hit Elon like a gut punch. A man who had spent his life in honest work was now left pushing shopping carts under the hot sun just to survive. "Do you have family?" Elon asked, his curiosity now tinged with concern. "Had a wife," Henry said, his voice dropping just slightly. "Lost her 5 years ago. No kids. Just me now. But I'm not complaining. Keeps me moving, keeps me busy. Beats sitting at home, feeling sorry for myself." Elon nodded, respecting the man's resilience. "Henry, would you mind if I asked more about your life? Feels like there's a story here worth hearing." Henry shrugged, a half-smile breaking through his weathered face. "If you're that interested, sure. Got a break coming up. You can buy me a coffee if you're so inclined." Elon smiled, sensing the beginning of something extraordinary. "Coffee it is."